Newt Gingrich went on Hannity Show to discuss the revelation that the deep state isn't denying that they wiretapped Trump and some of his allies. And there's a lot to say about his reaction here. Let's watch.
Let me go back to March 4th of this year when the president pointed out and tweeted out that he was being wiretapped. Well, we now found out that, in fact, the president was right. And we did, as I said in my opening monologue, we talked about this on March 8th. And Sarah Carter and John Solomon broke the story, FISA warrants, other warrants, and we know what happened. But there's the bigger, broader issue here of the unprecedented amount of surveillance of a political opposition candidate, unmasking of people, in the case of General Flynn, leaking intelligence. And then you have people like Samantha Power, the UN rep, unmasking up to 300 people, most of them Trump people, Ben Rhodes, Susan Rice. And you have to ask yourself, what is going on here? And how dangerous is this to the Fourth Amendment from your perspective?
Well, look, I think if you were to take all the different ways in which the Obama administration was abusing the system, abusing it on the one hand to defend Hillary Clinton, abusing it on the other hand going after Republicans and people who are for Trump. I think this is a radically bigger scandal than anything about Russia. Here you have an administration which deliberately was going after political figures, which on the other hand was deliberately defending its own political figures. This may be the most egregious abuse of the criminal justice process in American history. I mean, it's truly extraordinary. And it goes back to the point I make in my course on defending America, which is the country you and I know is under siege by a deep state which really wants to create a very different America and is willing to break the law and abuse the law.
I don't even know where to begin with this. Newt Gingrich was one of the biggest cheerleaders of George W. Bush and his absolute destruction of the U.S. Constitution. We're talking about no more due process, no more habeas corpus, holding people extrajudicially, having torture, which of course violates the Eighth Amendment protection from cruel and unusual punishment, totally eliminated the Fourth Amendment protection from unreasonable search and seizure because we passed the Patriot Act. I mean, this allowed warrantless spying. So when that happened, he cheered it on. So if everybody is getting spied on without a warrant, totally fine. He supports it, actively supports it. We learned that Trump was wiretapped during the campaign. Oh! Unbelievably egregious. They're violating civil liberties. So if Trump spied on, oh, how dare you? The whole fucking country spied on without a warrant. I actually like that one. That's good. I support that. These guys are such insane, immense hypocrites. It's hard to wrap your mind around how quickly they flip-flop on an issue given the political circumstances. They are the furthest thing from principled. It is hilarious. In fact, Sean Hannity, you heard him say it there. Go back and watch it again if you didn't hear it. He's like, well, this brings up serious Fourth Amendment concerns. So again, Fourth Amendment, protection from unreasonable search and seizure. Sean Hannity probably breaks the Guinness World Record on hypocrisy on this issue. Because when it's Republicans taking away your Fourth Amendment rights, he loves it. When it's Democrats, he hates it. And by the way, they act like this is, oh my goodness, I can't believe that they wiretapped Trump. They're spying on their political enemies. Actually, no, because it happened to Obama too. So the deep state spied on Obama, and the deep state spied on Trump. And to be clear, I don't think Bush ordered it directly to spy on Obama. I think the deep state just spied on Obama. I don't think Obama ordered the spying on Trump. I just think the deep state spied on Trump. So this is really the deep state spying on political candidates on both sides, probably to get dirt on them if they're not sufficiently pro-establishment. But again, this is something these guys did not give a fuck about when it was spying on everybody. And in the case of Sean Hannity, supports spying on everybody under Republicans, hates it under Democrats. If you don't believe me, let's go back and watch Media Matters' great video compilation on this.
We know that you're against the NSA data mining. We know that you're against the NSA surveillance program. So the question is, where does the Democratic Party, what will you do if you're elected to power to make our country safer in the war on terror? Specifically, what will your party support? Your party brags about killing the Patriot Act. You don't want the NSA surveillance. You don't want data mining. We have Pat Leahy saying that he doesn't want a NSA surveillance program. Nancy Pelosi, the woman who'd love to be speaker, she's against the NSA surveillance program. Yeah, sure. You mentioned that, and you mentioned the very specific things, the Patriot Act, the NSA surveillance program. The party that's weak on national defense, that doesn't want the Patriot Act, the NSA program, the data mining program. Is it right to say that, for example, on issues involving national security, be it the NSA surveillance program, the data mining program, the Patriot Act, Guantanamo Bay, that Democrats are weak on issues involving national security? And our techniques are working. We've got the NSA program here. We've got the Patriot Act program here. You know, in light of this, how close this was, it's staggering to me that we're even debating the use of these techniques in this country, even at this time. Big Brother is monitoring your every move, whether it be online or on the telephone. Let's talk about why this story, why is this important to you? Number one, this is America, and as law-abiding American citizens, you have a right to privacy. Number two, these actions by the Obama administration are a clear, very clear violation of the Fourth Amendment, which prohibits unreasonable search and seizure. Number three, the Constitution. It is our rule of law. If we do not respect and honor the Constitution, then anarchy and tyranny will follow.
So let me be clear on this, because I'm not like these guys where they're gigantic hypocrites depending on who's in office and, you know, when and who they're cheerleading for at the time. I'm against the Patriot Act. I'm against the repeated violations of the Fourth Amendment. And you have a right to privacy. If the government wants to look at your information, get a fucking warrant. And don't get it through the bullshit FISA court, which is nothing but a rubber stamp. You need to go through the traditional methods of getting it. It worked totally fine. It's not like in the after 9/11, all of a sudden we throw out all the rights and civil liberties because they're inconvenient. No, fuck that. That's when you're supposed to stick to the Constitution and civil liberties and people's rights the most. And obviously, guys like Newt Gingrich and Sean Hannity are not principled by any stretch of the imagination.